Hello and welcome to episode 13 of Yoga Bliss with Leah in the series that's called A New Way Forward. And if you have not had the opportunity to look at the previous episodes, then I encourage you to do so. For the purposes of this particular message here, which deliberately is in audio format, so that hopefully I can create for you a theatre of the mind without distraction of video, because there's a mix of video in the series dependent upon what the subject matter is all about. But in this particular episode, it's very, very deep and very personal for you as a listener to possibly want to absorb what I wish to share with you, that hopefully will bring you a fresh look and a new way forward for yourself. And the subject matter is about something that is pertinent to most people on the planet, whatever age, and that's about broken romance, about broken hearts. It's about confused hearts. It's about unrequited love. It's about attachment, can't break away from memories. It's about I wouldn't use the word toxicity, but in a sense, after I've explained a little bit more, maybe you can see that it is very much, dare I say, the crass example, a big pimple that needs to be broken, and we need to get out and to heal then, as nature will do, that little wound, so that in the end it becomes invisible and we're fresh again for the next adventure. And traditionally, it's been known, historically mentioned, that when there's a matter of the heart, especially emotional entanglement, a love entanglement, there's always then left what is called a bitterness of some sort, a puzzlement, and it turns our heart, which is a central chakra in all of our makeup, it turns the heart to stone. And it's very difficult then to think really clearly, and importantly to attract fresh new love, because we've closed the door. And what I wish to do here in the theatre of mind is to help open up that door in a traditional method that I personally, many years ago, learnt, because it's always a hand-me-down. There's not much original thinking on the planet, and I'm no exception. But what I do is I've been gifted, so I'm told, to reinterpret and present it in today's language of the reality and the practicality and the past lifestyle that we all lead. And there's many other teachings in this particular series. If you haven't had the chance to look back from number 1 right the way through to number 13, I do urge you to do that, because it then puts everything into context, give you that extra confidence as I paint this picture here through audio. As I said, the previous episode, some are in video, some are in audio. This particular message is in audio because I want to paint a picture, a theatre of the mind, that I want to join you on this particular journey. It's a tough one, but it's one through careful listening, careful acceptance, non-judgmental, and to realize that there is a new way forward, if you like, by yourself allowing me to paint the picture in your mind, which then will connect hopefully with your heart. And at the end of this particular teaching, you will then feel released and relieved, and you will be generous to yourself once again to enjoy and to attract new opportunities. You'll have a fuller understanding of yourself. So thank you for listening in the first place and going on this journey with me, where it's best, if you're in a situation wherever it is, relaxing in a chair or on a sofa or laying on your bed, is to just get yourself into your most comfortable position. And as I speak with you, if you slowly adjust your body, move it around, just get yourself where you know in yourself what is your most comfortable position, and then to do your own pace of gentle breathing, and going at your own pace to breathe in slowly and exhale slowly, and just sort of move all those energies that you're currently holding on to. Either you've volunteered for yourself to hold on to these energies, or they're just energies that just will not leave you, which are a constant source of annoyance, no matter how much you try and act out that everything is good. Let's have some real honesty here where we can own up, and maybe we become tearful, which is understandable. But I want to take all of that stuff that's created a situation of unhappiness. I want to take it, alchemize and transform it into a new way forward for you. And there is a formula. I learned it many years ago, and I'm a person that will only talk or teach about direct experiences I've had and for lessons I've learned from past masters, because there's nothing new on the planet, as we all can agree. Everything is dressed up. Yes, there are new inventions and new gadgets, but emotionally, there's nothing new. We all suffer the same thing: jealousy, covetousness, envy, greed, selfishness, all the negative aspects. We've all got it. And we work hard to make sure that it doesn't emerge. But sometimes there is another person will come into our life that's got these same energies, and they lock on one way or another. And it sounds like it's a good idea at the time, and we're compelled to go on the journey. Well, actually, what it is, it's a lesson to be learned, especially if there would be in the world, uh, it would be seen as a failure. And what I'm wanting to suggest here, it's not a failure, it's a lesson. It's only if we're prepared to have that open mind, because at the moment we can't have the open heart, because traditionally has been advised by very wise people from thousands of years ago that if we have an emotional disturbance, a broken love, some form of addicted love, some sort of possessive love, and it's broken away and it's left a bit of a hole inside of you, and you try and get back on track, you try and start your life again, and no matter how hard you tried, it's been drawn back. And I'm going to explain to you in simple terms, hopefully, in this theatre of mind. If you open up, imagine you're in a cinema comfortably, and it can be a cinema of the modern type where there's a luxury lounge where you can relax and really feel good, the VIP section of the cinema, if you like. But just to imagine, because it's about imagination, to turn that into realization, and then towards inspiration. And that's your graduation back to the next part of your journey. And that's what I intend to try and attempt to do here with you in a cooperation. So please open up that mind, not your heart, because I'll explain without insulting. The heart at the moment is closed off, and I'm going to give the very good reasons why. All of us as human beings, we wish to receive love, and in our own way, we wish to return it. Very difficult to find the equality. It's usually one will love the other more than the one that's loving, and that's throughout history, that's always been shown the case. I can quote a very semi-modern day example of Frank Sinatra, the late singer. It's a well-known fact that he went head over heels in love. It wasn't publicity, with Ava Gardner, the singer, not the singer, the actress, Ava Gardner. For those millenniums and those that are not familiar with these two particular people, I would say and remind gently that Frank Sinatra is probably the world's greatest, and certainly the largest album seller on the planet for the type of music that he did. Ava Gardner, on the other hand, made some amazing movies, but it was very short-lived. She ended her life up in London, of all places, from Hollywood, as a bit of a recluse alcoholic, and wasn't too happy. But the point being was Frank Sinatra was deeply in love with Ava Gardner, and she took him on a wild journey. She's very passionate. She used to love spending time with the gypsies in Spain from the Basque country. She'd love to go flamenco, and she'd wild child, full of passion and energy. But sadly, it brought her to a very lonely end as a celebrity living in London eventually, and basically drinking herself to death out of melancholy and basically frustration. She never really found the answer. That was part of her journey. Now, you're not here to be Ava Gardner. You're here to be the new person that you want to be, the person that you know you are before all of the events that took place, whether it was recently or some time ago, where your heart got, I wouldn't say so much broken, but it could be totally broken or it could be dazed and confused, and you got away from that relationship, but it's still hanging on in threads, whether consciously or subconsciously, but it's there. And the reason why it's there is that, now I'm going to take you up onto the esoteric level, and I want you to imagine a spider's web, a large, silky spider's web. I want to imagine you being in the middle of the spider's web. And from this spider's web, I want you to be able to look and see all of the connections of how all the construction of that perfect design, which is an example of the universe, the spider, when you come to think of it, isn't it amazing how they create such a complicated thing of great beauty? So there you are as a beautiful person in the middle, not caught up in the spider's web, but objectively see that is the position that you're in at the moment, and that you're looking to understand what this represents. And what these links are that go out in different directions of the web that you're in the middle of, they are actually attachments, and they're almost, as is discussed, they're silver cords. They are of that nature. You see a spider's web, especially first thing in the morning, glistening. It looks like they're silver cords. But actually, they are cords. They're invisible almost. Everybody's linked with, which has been qualified through esoteric teaching as a silver cord. And it's all connected through to source, which some people refer to God, or however we perceive God. But let's just imagine for a moment that the whole of the universe is God. Let's imagine, if we're not already aware of it, that we've got that part of the energy within all of us. We're all interconnected, all 8 billion of us, but we're at different levels. But whatever happens, those cords are all attaching to the same universal source. And our cords, our silver cords, are attaching to other people as well. It's either through family or through casual people we meet, or through work colleagues, or through any of our travels. Everyone we meet, we're all attached invisibly. We're all one big tribe, and we're all part of one big family. And that's a biological fact through analytical blood. If it's looked at and examined, there's particles within that blood, however minute. We're all interconnected as brothers and sisters in a strange way, but we're not incestuous towards each other. Nature has provided a separation where we can be individuals, as we all are. So we're also here in what is called the yin yang. We're looking for that other person. Doesn't matter about our sexual orientation, nothing to do with it. We come here as a singular, looking for that other, as it's called, the other, to join in with us. The majority of us are like that. Some of us are not inclined that way. It's very much the minority, but most people are looking for that other connection, that other part to make them complete, which is the yin yang. And that's where we go back to basics. We meet a lot of different people on intimate level, and they seem, and it would seem to them as well, a good idea at the time. But sadly, the record shows, especially today, there's so many broken relationships and disillusioned people. We're surrounded, and we make the best job of it between ourselves. But unless our heart is really lined up with that soulmate, it makes life very difficult. And what's so interesting is there is actually a soulmate for everybody, however long it takes, because the universe is designed to create harmony. But the universe, as much as it can be so abundant, it also is a hard taskmaster, and it's the biggest university in the universe. And notice the word university, universe, city. Yes, play on words. Words have got meaning as well, as you probably know, about the energies of phonetic sounds that come through our throat chakra, working with the pressure and the so-called oxygen, the combination to produce sound. So we all have that capability to produce sound, which is also important when we are looking or we are in a relationship with another person, because there's a lot of talking going on, And sometimes the voice can irritate greatly, or it can enhance, and you just have a love for the voice as well as you have a love for every aspect of that person you're with at the time. Now, back to the point of the broken-hearted, plenty of songs, in fact, most modern music, one way or another, is all geared up to the broken-hearted, and that's no mean feat, where certain commercial type designers of music lyrics, they make a good living out of it, because there are so many broken-hearted people running around and constantly trying to get a fix, as it were, almost like an addictive way, addicted to love. There's nothing wrong with that, but an addiction is all about the feeling one gets through pursuing the addiction. In the way that people will take drugs, it's not the product, or they take alcohol, it's not the product they become addicted to. They become addicted to the feeling of the change of personality, which, if there's a depressive type, sad type, by taking certain types of drugs. I'm not talking about ayahuasca, I'm not talking about basic hardline psychedelics, I'm talking about basic natural highs that are out there. It makes everyone feel so much better. And that's the word, it's feel. It's all about feelings, not about the reality, it's about feelings. Feelings have got a lot to offer all of us, but unless we get our reality right first, and I get our logic and our critical thinking right first, analytical understanding of our journey on this 3D world, for those that understand about 3D and 5D, which I won't go into here, but in this practical world, we do have to have a full understanding of what really is going on. And the only way we can do that is to go inside of ourselves, not outside of ourselves, looking for temporary solutions, such as through alcohol, booze, and all the other pleasures in life. Perhaps shopping. Some people like to do lots of shopping, and that's good, makes you feel good. But unless there is an inner understanding of ourselves first, then it's pretty pointless and materialistic, and it just takes people round and round in circles of dissatisfaction, always trying to pursue the latest idea or the newest thing. And so getting back again onto, and I'm just giving overviews here to relax you, to get your mind to imagine, to provoke some thinking, because that's what we're going to do with the spider's web analogy that I've painted. Now, I'm going to go into a ritualistic format, of which I want you to relax, enjoy, listen to my words. I will choose very carefully as the words are given to me, and it will be a form of prayer, nothing to do with religion. It's to do with a poetic understanding, a romantic understanding, but one based on realism, and one certainly that I've enjoyed on my journey, because I've had so many relationships and loves in my life at the age of 82. I've lost count, and that's not me being promiscuous, nothing to do with it. Always searching for that ultimate love, that ultimate partner, which late in my life I was blessed to be able to be brought into that orbit. And those of you that know me, you know who I'm talking about. It's a very spiritual understanding between two souls that were searching. Now, there's another soul out there searching for you. Oh, yeah. There's someone out there, the real person for you, not the fake identity ones, the ones that you think at the time that, whoa, this is good, and then it gradually disintegrates. And we're not talking about that. Those days are over. We're now at the position in this particular talk where you're in the middle of this spider's web. You've got all these links. Now, I want you to understand and to really try and accept, not fight it, because you're here with an open mind. So to be fair to me, please, I would appreciate your generosity to just let go and not have things bugging you, not have things judging. When I'm saying something, you're starting to analyze it and say, well, I don't understand that. No, that doesn't make sense. No, I'm asking you, and I did ask in the beginning of this teaching that you have a clear mind. So please just neutralize a little bit, have a self-understanding, not a self-criticism, no condemnation. Admit that maybe you were drifting away a little bit there. Maybe you were having little disagreements with what I was saying. So just get back into neutrality, relax in this cinema, this theatre of the mind, because this is where we're now going to do the work to get that release. This is where we're going to do the work now to get that release. And if you haven't lasted this far, understanding it all, then I respectfully suggest that this message is not for you. It really isn't. But I do thank you for listening this far. If you don't want to go the distance, that's fine. I send you away from my particular vibration of teaching here. I send you away with blessings. Thank you for attending. Now, for those that have stayed onto this message, I want to take us on the seriousness of how we can now open up that heart of yours so that you can be fresh again, to love again, to attract again that energy, that soulmate, that yin and yang, that completion for you to enjoy, to go forward in a fully comprehensive way with all your wheels spinning so that you can be joyful all the time. Attract that ideal partner to you. And this is how we do it. We have to break the ties, literally break the ties that are holding us. We are in bondage to that past lover. We are in bondage. We really are. And there's such a thing as Stockholm Syndrome. I won't go into that. If anyone doesn't understand Stockholm Syndrome, they need to Google it. I'm having to assume that you do, where we become in a cooperation as a prisoner to the jailer. The jailer is the one that took our heart, messed us up a little bit, to say the least, and we were the prisoner, but we're there so long enough to become bonded. It's a very strange friendship, and it's called Stockholm Syndrome. It's weird, and it's been broken down through modern day psychological understanding and teaching. And and this is what a lot of us suffer from, Stockholm Syndrome. I want to get us out of jail here. And this is what we've got to do. We have to. This is where the ritual starts. And in life, ritual is necessary in the way you ritualize by having a shower regularly, brushing your teeth regularly, maybe doing some yoga regularly, exercise regularly. It's all about habit, which breeds character. All about habit, which breeds character. And this is what this particular teaching will do. It will breed character. It will strengthen all of those positive attributes within you. It'll take away all the negativity. It'll take away all of the uncertainty. I guarantee it, if you're to follow the pathway that I now lay in earnest. We're going together, and I'll do it on behalf. I will intercede. I will intercede. I will stand between yourself and that past attachment, and I will cut the cords. As a surgeon, operate on a patient to either cut out an appendicitis or whatever is necessary for a repair job. Let me be the surgeon of your heart. Just give me that opportunity. It'll take about maybe 10 minutes, something like that, and that will be the end of this teaching, of which I thank you in advance already, because I know we're going to get a result, because you've stayed with me and you're listening closely. You've got an open mind, enjoying the relaxation of it all now, and in trepidation, excitement, and wondering where it's going to go from here. So you allowing me, I will take that you've allowed me to now take up the position of intercessory, to be the surgeon, to do the operation. And it begins like this. I will talk with the universe, and I will ask the universe to release, and the universe can be representative of any God that you believe in, but it will be the positive aspect. In fact, it will be the pure feminine aspect. The universe has nothing but feminine power within it, and the masculine side is there to aggravate most of the time, as men do with women. Men do irritate, but it's equal. You talk to any man that's in the same place with whatever's going on in his life. If you're a man listening to this, women equally can irritate us. So I'm going to eliminate this irritation. I'm going to go for harmony, and I'm going to talk to the universe with all of its feminine energy to bring forward this love, unconditional love, this peace and understanding, and importantly, the release from the torment. And it is spiritual connection. We're going to break these chains. We're going to go on this journey now. Enough. We've had enough of it. We want peace of mind. We want release of, we don't know how to do it, but now Roy's come along. He's been blessed. He's humbled about it. And I do choose Roy. I'm going to listen to what he's got to say, because he's been on the planet a long time. And I can feel that Roy understands what he's talking about. Whatever judgments I may have had in the beginning of this message, now I submit. As Roy is submitting, he's submitting to me. He's passing over very deep knowledge, but it's nothing new. It's just knowledge that he's understood. He's taken his lessons on board, so I can afford to listen to him. It'll be to my advantage and benefit. So I'm all ready to listen. Here I come now as that physician. Here I come now. And I address Mother Universe and I ask for all energies, new energies. I ask a standby army of angels of goodness and happiness and joy to be now surrounding the person who is listening to this message. I want the imagination to run wild, to be in this open space. Whatever scene comes to your mind, it may be by a beach, it may be on top of a hilltop. Take your mind back to when you felt happy and relaxed about life before all of these impositions came in and captured your heart and confused you and left you in such a state where you're really not happy. But you're here because you want to be happy, because you know that's your destiny to be happy and to open up that heart again, that to crush that broken, stony heart, flush it away like gallstones by vibration, or it can be cut out of the body. We're going to get rid of that bitterness, which is not yours. It was given to you through the experience. And we're going to cut those ties now. Universe, I ask now on behalf of the beautiful person listening to this message, for those ties to be cut from that last person that captured us. And importantly, all those ties to that person, for them to be cut, because in respect of that person, you don't wish them harm, really. You want them to be enlightened. But that's not your job to do. That's not your job to do. It's for their journey. Everybody's here on free will, all on their karmic journey, all of us, including me. And importantly, by understanding how all of this spider web works, understanding that whilst you were tied to that last love, that last addiction, that last obsession, you also were taking on board that other person's ties and all of the extremes of behavior, emotional confusion from that other person, whoever they had related to in their past. And if you now use your imagination, open it up big time, all of those hundreds of thousands all tied together, all of those transmissions of negative energies, all coming up through that last person, all of it. And then it was coming through to you. And this is now finishing because I've just issued an edict. I've asked the universe, who I know blesses me mightily, I'm asking that universe now, that energy that blesses me, to bless you as the listener, and for you to know through you saying now the following. Repeat after me and say your name in the gap. I'll be very slow here, but this is part of your release process. This is part of your release process. Just say these words after me. And you say your name after I'll say I, then you say your name, then I'll wait. Then I'll carry on speaking on your behalf for you to repeat. I understand what this linkage has all been about. Please repeat. I now offer up my open mind, and I thank you for accepting all of my past behavior. I thank you for no condemnation from you, the supplier of all energy, of all love, of all unconditionality, of all non-judgmental, of all pure energy. I thank you for blessing and hearing me. Let me feel that disconnection now. I thank you for this disconnection. I can see it in my mind's eye, sometimes referred to as third eye. As I see it, I receive it. I send my thanks, my gratitude. I send my love back to you, O beautiful universe, provider and nourisher of my soul. I feel released. I feel free again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, now, my dear listener, never slip back to the old you. Realize your heart has been opened up again. Realize it, feel it. And when any memory slips back, as it could do and it might do, as in the old religious adage, all the instructions for organized religious thinking, but it applies in a way, and I'll break it down, and it's called, when we get that memory slip, they call it a slip in psychological terms, a slip. Just say, in your own way, Satan, get behind me. So in whatever way you wish to refer to spiritual thoughts, just say to that negative thought, get behind me, get away, I've been released. Concentrate now just on the positivity of what you've just experienced. Relive it. Sleep, eat and breathe it. And the more you do that, the stronger your heart becomes. It starts to throb again, and it'll come out in your auric shield. The energies will start to convert, and it will be the power and the law of attraction. And there's another soul out there that's going either through a taught way, the way this teaching is, or whether their own self-enlightenment. But there is someone out there, however long it takes. Never go searching. Allow nature, allow the universe to introduce that into your life at the right time. Never go searching. That is what we do in the 3D world. That's what gets us into trouble. Submit. Just give in to the universe. The universe just wants to make you happy. Really does. There's some protocols and rules that man has lost over the years because we're so submerged in materialism, which is understandable. That is the journey here. But we're fortunate, we're transiting, it's a transition, we're transcending, we're going on to a higher level of thinking, one of great beauty. The planet is shifting as well accordingly. There's so much disruption all over the place, psychologically, politically, spiritually. And now through listening to this prayer, you're already on this part of the journey of your full enlightenment. And then if I can be allowed to put in a good word for Yoga Bliss with Leah, through connecting in through this power doorway, through this priestess goddessness of Leah herself, listen to what Leah has got to say in terms of her own internal knowledge and wisdom. Leah and I work as one, as twin flames. And we're told by other people we're very powerful, and we're very humble in that accolades and testimonials we receive. We are humble about it. We don't take it for granted. We're not on an ego trip. We're not narcissistic. We understand all of these human traits. We were put on this journey ourselves to get to where we are. And our mission is to work with other people to bring forward, to have a collective with no boss leadership, but just all working together in cooperation, harmony, in newness, and in excitement and enthusiasm. The next teaching will be about how to cut generational curses. There is a protocol to that. Many people know how to do that. It's all to do with the ritual again. In the same way, as I said, we have ritual of cleaning our teeth regularly, having a shower regularly. These are all rituals, and we do it for our well-being. So there's spiritual rituals as well. We've just performed one together, so congratulations, and thank you so much for opening up your heart, opening up your mind. I hope you've enjoyed the journey, and I wish you now, with Leah and myself, we work together, wish you so many blessings. And as I exit from this teaching and depart from you, I wish to leave you with the angels of peace and goodness, angels of love, the protectors. I wish you to receive and to feel these invisible forces around you. And as I mentioned before I say farewell, when there are any negative memories or recollections, a photograph or an old voice clip or an email, if there's any attachment memory, know that that is the past. Bless it, cast it out. Do not look backwards, only look forwards, but in now. You are clear. Believe it to receive it. And thank you so much for listening and coming on this journey. Many, many blessings to you from Leah and I.